copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976 allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticisms, comments. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Kai, Dragon Ball Xenoverse, Dragon Ball Online, and all other character names, logos, and distinctive likeness thereof are trademarks of Akira Toriyama, Toei Animation, Bird Studio, Shueisha, Funimation, Viz Media, Group AB, Glenat, Namco Bandai, Atari, and other respective license holders unmentioned. This video was not prepared, licensed, or endorsed by any entity involved in creating or producing the Dragon Ball series. It is an independent, unofficial work made by a fan, for fans, that has no connection to the official license holder and is created within fair use guidelines. Please enjoy the video.
Begin our story with Mr. Satan still getting shot and Evil Buu being unleashed. The battle between the Boos takes place as normal, except this time, once Evil Buu eats the chocolate from Fat Buu, it alters his personality to lean more towards Fat Buu. He still has a wrathful side to him if need be, and the raw power of Evil Buu, but the kindness of Fat Buu. Once Super Buu is unleashed, he is shocked to see how powerful he has become. He then goes and kills the other human who tried to kill Mr. Satan, except this time he takes him out in a less terrifying way, not even really intending to kill him. Buu then checks back in with Mr. Satan and makes sure he's okay. Buu tells Mr. Satan that it's still him, even though he looks a little bit different. Buu and Mr. Satan go back into Buu's house and continue their routine of cooking and cleaning. Once Mr. Satan is 100% sure that Buu isn't going to kill anybody else, he decides to bring him back into the city with him, so they can live peacefully there, and have more food to work with. Plus, Super Buu looks a lot different from Fat Buu, so the people of Earth wouldn't attack him for making friends with a mass murderer. Once Buu and Mr. Satan prepare to return to Satan City, Gotenks arrives, ready to take out Buu once and for all. Buu remembers Gotenks and gets ready to fight. Mr. Satan pleads to Buu not to fight, but Buu tells Mr. Satan that he just wants a good fight. And since Mr. Satan told him that killing is wrong, he won't kill him. Gotenks is pretty confused on why Buu seems a little bit nicer, but doesn't dwell on it for too long, and still goes into fight. Gotenks and Super Buu have an immense battle, similar to how it went in Hyperbolic Time Chamber in canon, until he goes Super Saiyan 3 and begins to pummel Buu into the ground. Gotenks is prepared to kill Buu, but Mr. Satan jumps in the way right before the attack, and pleads for Gotenks to stop. He tells the young fusion that Buu has changed, and that he's not going to kill anybody anymore. Gotenks doesn't care, since he's caused enough damage already, so he's going to finally finish this off. Piccolo then shows up to stop Gotenks. He says that Buu is able to get the evil half of him out, and the evil and good Boos manage to merge into a neutral being, where he's still pretty good, but has the power of evil, and he's not going to use it to destroy any more lives. Buu nods his head that is true, and he's just going to go live with Mr. Satan and try to undo the damage that he's done. Gotenks is conflicted when suddenly he defuses. Goten and Trunks glare daggers at Buu, but decide not to do anything, and let him live. After everything is cleared up, Buu goes with Mr. Satan back into the city, and uses his magic to rebuild the cities he destroyed as an apology. Gohan still arrives in his ultimate form, ready to battle, but Piccolo explains the situation to him, and Gohan lays off, but says he's going to keep an eye on Buu, just in case anything happens. A few months go by, and the Dragon Balls are used to bring back everybody killed by Buu. The only one who isn't brought back is Vegeta, since Shenron already brought back Vegeta years ago, so Vegeta is going to stay dead. Goku also stays dead too, since there is currently no need for him to come back to Earth. Over the years, Buu has rebuilt all of the cities he destroyed, and since he's trying his hardest to change, he personally went up to every person that he killed and apologized to them, which took quite a while. Gohan still doesn't completely trust Buu, and this suspicion of Buu is enough to have him keep up his training, to make sure that he'll be ready to take him on just in case he goes on a rampage again. Buu is still battle hungry though, since he still has that personality trait of the original evil Buu, and he trains with Gotenks a lot more. Gotenks doesn't mind training with Buu, since it's good training and it can allow him to continue to get stronger and let out his anger for the loss of Vegeta. After a couple of years, Beerus awakens and goes out to find a Super Saiyan God. After getting nothing from Goku, he arrives on Earth to find the god. Buu still tries to eat all the pudding, which annoys Beerus, and he begins to go on his rampage. Gohan, Buu, and Gotenks are much stronger than in canon, but they are still no match for Beerus. Beerus is interested in something though from this fight. He notices that Buu has a small amount of God Ki in him. Beerus tries to ask why Buu has God Ki if he's not a god, but Buu has absolutely no idea what he's talking about. Whis senses it as well, and also tells Beerus that the fusion over there also has a very slight amount of God Ki. The reason that Gotenks has small amounts of God Ki is due to him training so much with Buu, that they naturally got access to some of his Ki. Whis tells Beerus that if the fusion over there was able to get God Ki from training with somebody with God Ki, maybe Beerus could train the Saiyans, and allow them to become the Super Saiyan God naturally. This interests Beerus, and he says he'll allow this, but he won't train the Saiyans, and Whis can handle that. Chi-Chi and Bulma yell at the gods that there's no way they're going to take Goten and Trunks, but Buu tells the two that he can check in on them at any time and bring them back if need be, due to him being able to use instant transmission, after seeing Goku use it a couple of times. Plus, Beerus is most likely going to destroy the planet if they don't anyway. The mothers reluctantly allow this, but then say that they can go off to train every other day, since they still need to do schoolwork. And Whis just laughs and says that it's fine. Gohan is offered to go along as well, but he says he's going to stay here with his wife and keep evolving himself as a human without any god powers. Goten, Trunks, and Buu begin their training with Whis, with Buu unlocking more of his godly powers and becoming much more powerful. Goten and Trunks also fully unleash their God Ki, and after a few months, they're both able to get Super Saiyan God. With Beerus' premonition finally realizing itself, he challenges the two Saiyans, and Goten and Trunks fuse together and become God Gotenks. Beerus and God Gotenks have a gigantic clash between gods, and Gotenks performs even better than Goku did in canon. Of course, he still loses the fight, but Beerus is very impressed on how far they have come since when they first fought. The boys and Buu continue their training on Beerus' planet every other day, and return home for schoolwork, and in Buu's case, helping out Mr. Satan with tournaments. Goten and Gohan begin to train together too, with Goten showing off his new God transformation to Gohan. With training with a god, Gohan gets access to bits of God Ki, and he notices this, and begins to be able to harness his godly Ki with the ultimate form, attempting to combine the two so he can become way stronger. Eventually, Frieza is revived and returns to Earth.
The Z-Fighters sense Frieza immediately and go after him. Frieza is surprised to see Majin Buu here, as his father warned him about how dangerous he was. Frieza is also disappointed that Goku and Vegeta are dead, but says that the other Saiyans will do. Goten and Trunks fight against Frieza, and in their god forms, they're able to beat him around easily. Frieza is angry that these small Saiyans can put up such a big fight, and he transforms into his golden form and easily knocks the boys away, unconscious. Gohan is enraged seeing his brother knocked away like trash, and he powers up and fights against Frieza. Gohan is a great match against Frieza, and Frieza is shocked that Gohan is keeping up with him in base, without even turning Super Saiyan. Except, Gohan is using his godly ultimate form, which is definitely a good match against Golden Frieza. Soon, Frieza runs out of energy and reverts back to his final form. Gohan is disappointed with Frieza, and just mocks him, saying that all the training he does will never be a match for what the Saiyans can do. Frieza isn't going to go down so easily though, and he prepares an attack to destroy the planet. Buu, however, notices this, and he rushes in to stop Frieza. Buu wraps his entire body around him, trapping him, and suddenly, the pink blob grows smaller, and then begins to change. Buu reforms himself, except this time he looks a little bit more like Frieza. Gohan asks what Buu just did, and he says that he saw Frieza about to destroy the planet, so he needed to step in and stop it. And this was the only way. Buu saving Gohan and the planet finally gets Gohan to let go of his weariness and hatred for Buu, since he basically just sacrificed himself for them all. Gohan thanks Buu, and then asks why he looks different. Buu says that he has the ability to absorb people and make their powers his own, so basically he was able to capture Frieza, so now he can't be a threat again, which was smart thinking on his part.
Meanwhile, on Beerus' planet, Champa arrives and suggests a universal tournament. We last left off with Champa coming to Beerus' planet to start up the Universe 6 tournament. Beerus would obviously accept the challenge and tells Buu and the boys to go and get 2 more fighters for them. Of course, Goten gets Gohan right away, but Gohan says that he's got a conference coming up soon and he can't participate. Goten pleads with his big brother though, as this is much more important than a conference, as the God of Destruction is hosting it and probably won't be very pleased if one of the world's strongest doesn't enter. Gohan understands, and after pulling a few strings and some schedule readjustments, he is able to enter the tournament. The last fighter the group grab is Piccolo, as even though he isn't comparable with the Saiyans or Buu, he is still insanely powerful and will be of great help in the tournament. Beerus doesn't get Monaka this time, as there's literally no need to, and if he did, then he would be down a powerful fighter, and it would just be a huge disadvantage for them. The team of Buu, Goten, Trunks, Gohan, and Piccolo are dubbed Team Universe 7 and go off to fight in a tournament. The first match is between Goten and Botamo, with Goten having a hard time trying to get Botamo out of the ring due to his rubbery and stretchy body. But it doesn't take long for Goten to just realize he can throw him out of the ring and lifts Botamo up, flies into the air, and just tosses him out. Frost is up next, and Goten is very wary fighting against him, as it wasn't too long ago he got knocked around by Frieza, so Goten doesn't exactly hold back on Frost, going Super Saiyan right off the bat and knocking him out. Frost seemed like a nice guy, but Goten wasn't going to take any chances. Vegeta is up next, and of course he is extremely heavy and powerful, and with all the heat trapped in Goten, it makes him tired and dizzy. And he doesn't have as powerful lungs since he is just a kid, and he succumbs to the heat and smoke early, and is eliminated. Trunks comes in to fight next, and while he suffers the same problems as Goten, I believe Trunks could come up with some creative insults to get Vegeta to chicken out and lose the match. The Universe 6 Saiyan Kaba comes in next, and he and Trunks have a pretty good fight. They seem evenly matched for the most part, and maybe Kaba is even slipping ahead a little bit. Trunks doesn't like that though, and he just goes Super Saiyan and knocks Kaba out of the ring. Finally, Hit comes into the ring, and even when Trunks goes Super Saiyan God, it's nothing for Hit, and he is knocked out pretty fast. Gohan is the next one to enter the ring, and after observing Hit's fight with Trunks, he notices Hit's time skip and is able to catch onto it and avoid the blows. Gohan unleashes the godly ultimate form and battles Hit without his time skip, and their battle is an immense one, except Hit keeps improving as the battle goes on, and his time skip improves as well, giving Gohan more and more trouble. Gohan realizes he isn't going to win at this rate and decides it's now or never, and tries his best to combine his ultimate form with even more God Ki, and this brings out his newest transformation, Ultimate Super Saiyan God. With all of Gohan's power stacked with godly energy, he is insanely powerful and is able to knock Hit around with no trouble at all. Remember, in a Tournament of Power arc, Gohan is able to match up to Super Saiyan Blue after only like a day of training, and this Gohan has kept up with his training since the Buu arc ended. So with this already stronger Gohan, and him having Super Saiyan God now, I'm pretty sure he'd be able to take out Hit here, even with his improved time skip. Hit is eliminated, and Universe 7 wins the tournament. Buu is kinda sad that he didn't get to fight at all and show off his new techniques he got from Frieza, but hey, there's always next time. As this king of everything shows up and says he wants there to be another tournament, Buu can show off his skills there. The wish to restore Universe 6's Earth happens as normal, and Universe 7 team returns back to Earth. Now we're heading into the Goku Black arc, and Zamasu's plan. Now, Goku of course isn't around to meet with Zamasu, and kind of really show him how powerful mortals can get. So this means Zamasu shouldn't get his hatred for mortals, and we should just skip this arc, right? Nope. In the manga, Zamasu never even met Goku. He just watched him fight Hit on GodTube, and after seeing how powerful he was on there, he got the idea for the Zero Mortals plan. So that's what we're going to take inspiration from for this What If. Now, he obviously isn't going to steal Goku's body, as he's dead, but he does steal the body of the mortal that was the strongest during the tournament, Gohan. Gohan Black is unleashed, and of course when he shows up to the future timeline, it's going to be an even more mentally draining process for Trunks, as he's fighting his old master and best friend. I believe things would still play out relatively the same there though, and Trunks would escape into the past to go get some help. Luckily, this is one of the days that Buu and the boys are around, and Trunks is pretty shocked to see himself here, as you know, an alternate version of himself. Buu remembers future Trunks as well, as he has Frieza in him, and remembers being cut in half. Trunks wakes up, and this time doesn't attack anybody since there's nobody here who looks like Gohan. Trunks explains the situation to everybody, and is told about Buu. Buu is surprised to learn from Trunks that he doesn't exist in the future, as he was stopped from being released by Babidi. He understands though, as he most likely would have gone on a rampage, and it wouldn't have worked out for anybody, so he doesn't hold a grudge against Trunks or anything. Trunks is also very disappointed to hear that Vegeta passed away too. Buu reluctantly tells Trunks that Vegeta died trying to kill him, but that he was very noble, and this was when Buu was a different person, and he's changed for the better now. Trunks doesn't know Buu very well, but can sense his intentions are pure, and he is telling the truth. So even though Trunks is sad that Vegeta is gone, he doesn't hold a grudge against Buu either. He is kind of weirded out how much Buu reminds him of Frieza though. Buu thinks it's a funny story, but he doesn't have time to explain right now, because suddenly, Gohan Black arrives to finish off Trunks. Goten is furious that somebody who looks like his big brother is torturing a future version of his best friend, and tells Trunks that the two of them together should beat that guy for him. Trunks agrees, and the two fuse into Gotenks and battle Gohan Black. This doesn't go well for Black, as Gotenks basically just uses him as a punching bag and knocks him down easily. Gotenks then asks Black who he is and why he looks just like Gohan, but Black isn't talking. Buu decides to make this easier, and he just absorbs Gohan Black and gets all of his memories. Buu is kinda confused himself, but tells everybody that Black was originally a Kai named Zamasu, and he switched bodies with Gohan to eliminate every mortal in existence. And he also has an accomplice in the future, another Zamasu. Everybody is kinda confused by this, especially Trunks, since these guys just defeated Black and got the information about him so easily. Beerus and Whis go off to kill the present version of Zamasu, while Goten, Buu, and the Trunkses head into the future to go stop future Zamasu. Once the group show up in the future, Buu heals Mai back to full health, and Zamasu shows up, confused on why some pink blob is wearing Black's clothes. Buu goes up to him and tells him that he has taken over Black, and he knows what Zamasu plans on doing, and that it isn't right. He himself once hated mortals, but once he got close to one and got to learn about him, he was opened up to meet hundreds of good people, and get enjoyment out of life for the first time, and not just be reduced to fighting constantly, but learning about others and making friends. Zamasu gets an earful, as Buu knows what triggers him since he technically is a part of Zamasu, but it doesn't work, as this Zamasu is fully committed to the Zero Mortals plan at this point, and attacks Buu. This proves completely useless however, as Buu is in a league of his own, ahead of Zamasu, and it's just sad. Buu keeps one-shotting the god, and he gets back up ready to fight again, and Buu knows there's pretty much no other way to get around this, so he absorbs Zamasu as well, to end this madness. Trunks thanks everybody for their help against Zamasu, and he begins to rebuild in the future while the others return to the past. Buu goes off to Gohan and explains what exactly happened with all the gods and time travel and stuff, and that one of the gods stole his body. Gohan is kind of weirded out how his body was stolen, as he remembers how weird it was when his dad got his body swapped all those years ago, so it must have been weird for everybody here as well. Buu also tells Gohan that he can sense some sort of change in Gohan Black, that maybe being immortal changed him, as he is still evil, but not as evil as the immortal Zamasu. Buu says that the others gave him a chance to be good, so he wants to do the same here and help Gohan Black become a good guy. Except he's going to need Gohan's help, as Gohan is technically a part of Gohan Black. Gohan is surprised that Buu wants to do this, but he understands and says he'll totally help him out. Buu releases Gohan Black, and immediately he tries to go on the offensive, but Buu and Gohan just stop him and talk to him. Buu pretty much explains everything he did to Zamasu to Gohan Black, but backs it up with a be good or die scenario. Gohan Black is conflicted, but Gohan promises that he's going to show Black the Earth and how good mortals actually are. It takes around a year, and a lot of struggle, but Gohan and Buu are able to work together and give Black a different viewpoint on mortals to an extent, so he is no longer a bad guy. Buu feels tremendous pride in himself, as he has made Mr. Satan proud by stepping up and helping somebody out, just like how Satan did to him a few years ago. And Mr. Satan is of course proud of Buu. A short while later, the Grand Priest arrives, and announces the Tournament of Power.
We last left off with Gohan and Buu successfully transforming Gohan Black into a good guy. They've been working really hard to show him the mortal culture, and how even though it differs from the gods, it's just as good, if not better, since they have so many different people to interact with, and just live out their lives, doing their best for the planet. Sure, not everybody is perfect, but those are the ones that need the most help. If Black really wanted the best for the universe, ending it wouldn't have helped any, as Zena would have ended him long before his plan was enacted. The only way to truly save the universe is by helping the mortals realize their mistakes, and help them through it. Black has gotten a point after hanging around on Earth for a year, and is truly a different man now. Black has also been training with Gohan and Buu, getting in tune with his godly abilities. With all the training they've been doing, the two Gohans have actually unlocked new forms. Gohan has managed to unlock the power of Super Saiyan Blue, while Black has gotten a similar transformation, but his is the color pink. The two don't know why Black's transformation is pink, but they just decided because he's technically a god, so his blue evolution is different. Buu has gotten even stronger now, and has adapted to Zamasu's abilities inside of him, which makes him way more dangerous than before. He can now use Ki blades, like actual blades of Ki, not the Kingdom Hearts ones, and can summon Kachin, which is the strongest metal in existence. Now, I've also gotten a bunch of comments saying that if Buu absorbs more people, his personality is going to change for the worse, and he's going to become evil again. And I don't think that is true in the slightest, because think about it. In this scenario currently, Buu only has Frieza and Zamasu inside of him, which are extremely evil people, though you'd think he would become more evil. Except, in canon, Super Buu absorbed countless good guys. Goten, Trunks, Piccolo, and Gohan, who is like the embodiment of being good. And he was still evil, and headstrong on destroying the Earth, and the entire universe. In conclusion, I don't think it matters how evil or good the person Buu is absorbing, it'll change his personality slightly, but he's not going to lean in one direction on the good or evil scale. He's going to basically stay himself. Alright, enough with the catch-up. Now we're going to be moving into the Tournament of Power arc. Now, I bet a bunch of you are also wondering how the Tournament of Power can happen, and that is because Zeno wanted it in the first place. Goku was the one who just wanted it to happen sooner than it would've. Zeno will still plan the tournament, and since there isn't a future Zeno around, there isn't going to be an exhibition match, due to everybody already knowing what a tournament is. So now the Z-Fighters have more time to form a team. Right off the bat, we already have 5 combatants: Buu, Gohan, Black, Goten, and Trunks. Only 5 more. Gohan immediately recruits Piccolo, while Goten and Trunks go try to recruit Android 18, since they remember how strong she was back in their tournament years ago. With 18, they also get Krillin, and now they just need 2 more fighters. While thinking about who else to get, Gohan hears a familiar voice speaking to him in his head. It's Goku. Goku says he's been listening into the events happening on Earth, and he heard about the Tournament of Power, and he's very interested in joining. Except he already used his full day on Earth, so he himself wouldn't be able to. But there's somebody else who can come on down and join. Vegeta. Goku is able to convince King Yama to have Vegeta keep his body, so the two can train together up there, and get stronger together. Trunks is obviously enthusiastic on hearing his dad is going to return for a day, and Beerus overhears this conversation, and asks if Goku and Vegeta have both gotten stronger, and are relatively equal in power. Goku says that yes, both of them are extremely powerful, and about the same in power. Beerus tells Whis if they manage to get both of these Saiyans, then perhaps we'll have a much better chance in a tournament. Gohan says it would be great for Goku to return, but he already used up his 1 day in the living world, so he would be unable to return. Whis laughs, and says that that's not a problem, and him and Beerus go off into the afterlife. And around a half hour later, they return with Vegeta and Goku, both back to life. Everybody is in complete shock on seeing these two back, and these two are in shock as well, but Whis says he used his ability to return the two back to life, since it wouldn't have exactly been fair to bring one back and not the other. Plus, if they lose, they're all going to die again anyway, so it's smart to have everyone be alive for the battle. Gohan, Goten, and Trunks rush up to their parents, sobbing, welcoming them back to the land of the living, as it's been so long since everybody has seen them. Buu sheepishly goes up to Vegeta and apologizes profusely for his death, and says he's a changed person now, and he's going to make it up to Vegeta in this tournament. Vegeta still holds resentment for Buu, but knows he's a completely different being now, and he's helped save the Earth many times since he's been gone, so there's no point in grudges at the moment. Goku is also interested in meeting Black, saying it's odd how there's somebody around who looks just like Gohan, but acts and talks completely different. Black already isn't the biggest fan of Goku's stupidity, and Goku pretty much embodies everything he hates about mortals, but Black is a better person now. He's not going to kill Goku, if he even could. There are still a few hours until the tournament, so Goku asks Gohan for a quick sparring match, so we can see where he stacks up against him. Gohan would agree, and the father and son begin their match. The two battle it out in base, showing off great technique and new abilities that the two have learned. They bring it up to Super Saiyan, then Super Saiyan 2, then Super Saiyan 3 for Goku, while Gohan uses his Godly Ultimate form. And Goku is still able to keep up with Gohan, while only in Super Saiyan 3. Gohan asks how that's possible, and Goku tells him that while in the afterlife, he managed to fully master the Super Saiyan 3 state, and use it for very long periods of time without losing any energy whatsoever, so now he doesn't have any drawbacks. Gohan and Goku begin increasing their powers more and more, except Whis stops them, as he doesn't want them using up all their energy before the tournament even starts. The two congratulate themselves on a great fight, and then go off for the Tournament of Power. The tournament begins normally, with the group splitting off, and going after many fighters. Goku still goes after the Pride Troopers to get to Jiren, but Jiren isn't really paying any attention to him at all, since he's far too weak in his eyes. Frost is still seen as a good guy, so he's able to knock out Krillin pretty quickly, without being suspected of anything, and Goten rushes in to avenge him, but is struck by the poison needle and almost thrown out of the ring. Luckily, Zeno caught this and quickly destroyed Frost right off the bat for cheating, saving Goten. Buu is able to go around and take hits very easily due to his rubbery body, and he is much more powerful than any other combatants, so their hits do nothing to him, and he's able to take out many small fighters super fast. And of these smaller fighters are those who make up Anilaza, so Buu just saved everybody from that monster. The Gohans mostly stick together, allowing anybody stupid enough to face them to go up and try, that way they can take him out pretty easily. Goku and Vegeta still take out Universe 9, and they're the first universe eliminated. Vegeta and Trunks fight against Universe 6 Saiyans, with Trunks so happy to be fighting alongside his father again. The Universe 6 Saiyans aren't doing so hot, with Vegeta and Trunks beating the absolute crap out of them since they don't have Super Saiyan. Caulifla and Kaba are knocked out, and Kale does get pretty angry about this and transforms into her Berserk form, trashing Vegeta and Trunks. The two realize as they are, they don't stand a chance, so Trunks transforms into his God form, while Vegeta goes into Super Saiyan 3. Training with Goku for all this time allowed Vegeta to get this form as well, and he successfully managed to master it as well as Goku, having no drawbacks whatsoever in the form. Even with the father-son duo going it out with Kale, it's not enough to hold her back, so Gohan and Black come in to help the two. Kale is still a great match for them, but luckily Black isn't as soft as Gohan in fighting, so he's able to deal powerful blows and wreck around Kale with deadly strikes. This still isn't enough, however, and this is when Jiren knocks out Kale with one blow. As of now, with so many weaker fighters knocked out by Buu, the few fighters left are Jiren, Toppo, Dispo, and Hit. Piccolo and 18 were still knocked out by the invisible fighters, with Goten being the one to take them out in the end, after sensing them bouncing around. Hit battles out with Goten and Trunks, with Trunks wanting revenge on what happened last time. Of course, these two still can't do much against him, and decide it's time to fuse into Gotenks. Unfortunately, as they go to do the dance, Hit time skips and knocks both of them out during it, eliminating them. Hit then goes off to face Universe 11 fighters, and Buu steps in his way. Buu battles it out with Hit, and Buu uses his unique moveset to completely obliterate Hit. Hit's time skip isn't a problem, since the moment he lands a blow on Buu, Buu's body doesn't move and he just snaps back and lands brutal blows on Hit, using Zamasu's Keyblades. Hit is knocked out pretty quickly, but knocked unconscious, not out of the ring, and that's because Buu knows how useful Hit's time skip could be against somebody like Jiren. Buu absorbs Hit and fully gains access to his abilities, then goes off to face off against the Pride Troopers. Dispo is fighting against Goku and Vegeta, both in their Super Saiyan 3 forms, and while both of these two combined are strong enough to take Dispo out, he's way too fast for them, and they're being beaten around. Goku has a plan though. As Dispo is running around, Goku follows after him, and Dispo gets cocky, saying Goku doesn't have a chance of catching up. This is exactly what Goku wanted, however, and he yells out, Kaioken times 20, instantly increasing his power and speed 20-fold, and rushes up to shock Dispo, and with one heavy hit, knocking him out of the arena. One Pride Trooper down, 2 to go. Black is doing his best fighting against Toppo, and he's holding him back very well, since his movements are much more savage and he's fighting to severely injure, not just knock him out. Toppo can't keep up much longer and transforms into his God of Destruction mode, evening the odds against Black. Black is beaten down easily and is about to be thrown from the ring, but is caught by Buu. Buu quickly uses his magic to heal Black and tells him he'll handle this now, he should go help out Gohan against Jiren. Black wants his revenge against Toppo, but knows he won't be much of a match himself, so he listens to Buu and goes off to help Gohan. Buu begins his fight against Toppo, utilizing his new time skip techniques to his advantage. Of course, he needs to look out for the orbs of destruction being thrown everywhere, but the time skip really helps him out with avoiding them and landing powerful hits on Toppo. Eventually, he manages to trap Toppo inside the time cage and then uses a death ball to push Toppo out of the arena. One more enemy to go, Jiren. Jiren, of course, isn't tiring in the slightest, as Gohan and Black aren't doing anything to hurt him. Goku and Vegeta are standing around in the back since they know they won't be able to do anything on their own. Of course, they can't just do nothing, so Goku tells Vegeta there's only one way they can help out against Jiren. Vegeta hates the idea, but he knows that it's really the only way. Goku and Vegeta do the fusion dance and fuse into Gogeta. Gogeta powers up into Super Saiyan 3 and rushes in to help Gohan. The fusion multiplier is great and helps out, except it's still not enough against Jiren. He's just too strong. Gohan slams his fist to the ground. He's useless here. There's nothing at all they can do against Jiren. Even with all the power he's achieved, it all means nothing. Black tells Gohan to shut his mouth. He should know by now that it's not all about power. If they keep rushing in using raw power, it's not going to help them out in the slightest. They need to move well, tiring Jiren out, using his own power against him. If he can use all of his power and drain himself, then they may have a chance. Gohan knows what Black is talking about. Ultra Instinct. It's been a technique Black has been trying to achieve for a long time now, as it's fighting perfection, but they still haven't managed to master it yet. He's going to try though. Black rushes in against Jiren and tries his best to move without thinking, but his heart isn't in the right place. He naturally fights too savagely. He isn't going to achieve Ultra Instinct. Gohan tells him to stop, as he's going to get himself killed there, but Black yells that he can't give up now. Unfortunately, Jiren is getting tired of this game, and he grabs Gogeta and throws him into Black so hard that the two of them go flying. Gogeta manages to save himself from falling off, but Black was knocked out cold and eliminated. Gohan's rage begins to grow. Even after trying so hard, Black wasn't able to do anything. He can't let it all end like this. He needs to finally do what he's been struggling with for years: control his rage. Gohan takes a deep breath in and goes in to fight Jiren. Jiren isn't happy with his pitiful final attack, but something is different. He can't seem to hit Gohan. Gohan has changed. Beerus and Whis know exactly what this is, but are in complete shock on how he managed to achieve such a transformation by himself. Gohan has tapped into Ultra Instinct. Gohan is beginning to get the advantage over Jiren, and Buu and Gogeta watch in awe, not wanting to intervene and risk Gohan losing this ability so fast. Even with Gohan in the Ultra Instinct Omen form, he's leagues above Canon Goku in terms of strength and agility, due to his potential being so high. So as of now, Gohan with Omen is way more powerful and skilled than Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku from Canon. Jiren is forced to use his full power, trying to get some ground back, but Gohan isn't letting up. He's been too cocky with power for too long, with Cell and Frieza. He can't just let everybody down anymore. Gohan beats down on Jiren, about to finish the job, although he can sense his Ultra Instinct fading, and he can't do this on his own anymore. Jiren can sense this as well, and goes in for a punch, and Gogeta kicks him away. He launches a Big Bang Kamehameha at Jiren, trying to push him out. Jiren goes to catch the blast, but he is frozen in place by Buu's time cage. Jiren is being pushed back, but Gogeta is still too weak to finish the job. Jiren unleashes all of his power at once, breaking Buu's hold on him and completely negating the blast. This is exactly what Gohan wanted. With all of his power used to stop the attack, he's vulnerable now. The moment the blast is destroyed, Gohan appears in front of Jiren and punches him as hard as he can in the face, throwing him out of the arena and winning the tournament. Gohan falls out of Ultra Instinct, collapses to the ground unconscious. Buu then realizes he needs to leave the arena too, as he has the last fighter hit inside of him, and once Buu eliminates himself, Gogeta is the last man standing. Gogeta is given a wish on the Super Dragon Balls, and he wishes for all of the universes to be brought back, so he can fight them again. The universes are restored, and everybody returns home back to adjust to their new life, now that Goku and Vegeta are back in them.
Hey everybody, sorry to interrupt the video, but guess what? I'm moving up in the world of sponsorships. This video is sponsored by Fandomian, who sells some really cool anime and manga merch, and a bunch of other cool merch for some pretty cool prices. If you want to get some cool outfits and a bunch of other stuff for an even lower price, then make sure to click the link in the description down below and put a discount code DAMON for 5% off your order. Again, that's code DAMON for 5% off of your order. Hopefully, you won't regret your purchases. Now let's get back to the video. We begin shortly after the Tournament of Power, with Goku and Vegeta training alongside the others on Beerus' planet. The two of them showed off how powerful they became during the Tournament of Power, which granted them permission to go and train with Whis. Through this training, the two of them managed to access Super Saiyan God naturally, without needing to use the ritual, which is pretty much what Goku and Vegeta wanted anyways, as they didn't want to cheat their way to power through a ritual. These two haven't only been training with each other, they've been training alongside their sons as well. Goten and Trunks have also finally aged up, which they should have in the main story anyways, but for this story, I'm just gonna say it's because of all the training that they've been doing. With these four training together, they've all gotten very powerful in their god states, and while training with their fathers, Goten and Trunks finally managed to access Super Saiyan Blue. Goku and Vegeta are pretty shocked to see this, as all of their sons are outclassing them left and right, but use this as motivation to train themselves even harder, trying to grant access to this form as well. Goku and Vegeta are much weaker than they were in canon, as even though they've been training together in the afterlife for years, it's not the same as training with Whis. So even though the two fully managed to master Super Saiyan 3, they still have a long way to go before they are truly in the realm of the gods. On Earth, Gohan, Black, and Buu continue training together, with Gohan trying his hardest to gain access to Ultra Instinct once again, which is something he hasn't been able to use since the Tournament of Power. Black has been jealous too, wanting this power for himself, and trained as hard as he can with Gohan to be able to get it himself. Buu no longer has hit inside of him, as he ejected him from himself after the tournament, but he does remember some of the abilities he gained from the assassin, and has been trying to get a hold of gaining those powers again himself. Everybody is training to better themselves, and life is going pretty well for everybody. In space though, things aren't going well for Frieza's army. They once again lost Frieza, and they're struggling very hard to keep the force going. The worst part is that Frieza isn't even dead this time, he's just trapped by Majin Buu, and they can't return to Earth as they are, or else they'll just be killed. Kikuno and Berry Blue think of all the ways that they can to save Frieza, and Berry Blue only has one good idea. They remember hearing about a strange ability the Yardrats had called Forced Spirit Fission, which allows you to take out beings who have been absorbed. If they manage to learn this technique, then maybe they would be able to return to Earth and get Frieza back. Of course, the Yardrats aren't just going to help teach a technique to them, as the Ginyu Force tried to wipe out the planet years ago, so it's highly unlikely they would help. They need somebody who is on their side, and is also pure of heart. But who? Luckily, Chi-Lai and Lemo still return with Broly and Paragus as normal, which is the answer to all their problems. Broly is a very pure person, and if they have him learn Force Spirit Fission, they can bring him to Earth to rescue Frieza. Berry Blue explains to Paragus that now that they're going to be heading to a planet called Yardrat, where these two can train to defeat that Vegeta they were talking about, and to rescue their master Frieza. Paragus isn't too concerned about this, as Yardrat is a pretty nice planet, so he's not bothered by it. They also have a specialty of teaching spirit control, which is something that Broly would desperately need. Kikuno takes Broly and Paragus to Yardrat, and the three meet with Paibara, asking if they can train under him. Paibara says that Paragus and Kikuno aren't very suited for this, as they don't seem to be the nicest people out there, but Broly is more than welcome to train under them. Kikuno doesn't mind at all, since they only needed one person to learn the technique. Broly is accepted to train under the Yardrats and begins to learn Forced Spirit Fission. This training for Broly is very beneficial, as most of his rage is put under control by Paibara. since Broly needs to master body and mind if he's going to learn an advanced technique like Spirit Vision. Broly also gets his shock color removed by Paibara, as he knows that this wouldn't be needed anymore, which kinda freaks out Paragus, but the Yardrats do their best to calm him down, as they've got everything under control. Broly continues his training, though it is going to be a few more months until his training is fully completed. And in this time that Broly is training, Moro escapes from the Galactic Prison. With Moro on the run, the Galactic Patrol are going to need the power of the Grand Supreme Kai, so they go off to Earth and ask Buu for help. Buu tells Beerus that he doesn't quite remember this technique he's talking about, as he doesn't have the Grand Supreme Kai's memories. Beerus tells Buu that it's not a problem. They have a hypnotist that can help him regain his memories. That way they can get Buu's help against Moro. Buu says that of course he'll go along to help, and tells Gohan and Black to stay behind here on Earth, just in case anything happens. And he can go and handle this himself. Buu goes with Beerus, and while Beerus goes off to arrest some criminals in the meantime, Buu meets the Galactic Patrol hypnotist, regaining the lost memories of the Kai. And with these memories, Buu is very angry now, remembering all of the horrible deeds that Moro did, and they continue to search for Moro. The problem right now is that with all of the special powers that Buu has, instant transmission isn't one of them, so the group have no idea where Moro is, meaning Moro is able to go dynamic, kill all of the Namekians, and get the Dragon Balls without anybody to stop him. Now again, Buu does have the Kai Kai ability, which allows him to transport anywhere throughout the universe, but the main problem is that he doesn't know where Moro is. And if he did, he would just easily go dynamic. But the fact that Buu has no idea where Moro is since he can't sense him means he can't teleport dynamic. Moro also kills Cranberry before he is able to make his first wish, meaning Moro now gets all 3 wishes for himself. His first wish should be of course to regain his magic, and the second wish should be to free all of those from the Galactic Prison. Now, what is Moro's final wish going to be? I feel his final wish should be to have the knowledge of planets with very high energy levels and their locations. That way he can instantly take his crew and go to these planets, that way he can get a nice meal. With this, Moro is picked up by Saganbo and his crew, and he devours Namek and goes off to find some tasty planets. Beerus gets a message that the Galactic prisoners have escaped and made their way to planet Namek, so Beerus, Jocko, and Buu quickly rush over to Namek, but do not find anything there. Moro had already eaten the planet. This is a huge loss, and the patrol have no idea where to go now. Moro has gotten more powerful, and now he has a whole crew to help him. The worst part is they have no idea where he is. Buu tells the patrol that for now, they should go and explore the universe, trying their best to track him down. He'll try his best to search for energy signatures going down, that way he can instantly lock onto their energies and teleport there. The patrol quickly continue going throughout the universe, searching for Moro and his crew. Now, Moro and his crew are going throughout the universe pretty much like in canon, except this time when 7-3, Yunba, and Shimorika, I think that's how you say his name, arrive on the planet looking for trouble, Gohan and Black step in to save Piccolo. Before, Black saved Krillin from Yunba by killing him himself, and now he's here to help fight with 7-3. Gohan and Black fight with 7-3, and this time it's much easier to take down the android, as Gohan is much stronger than he is in canon, and he's got Black there to help him out. 7-3 doesn't just get completely bodied in no time though, as he much sooner activates his Moro abilities and begins to drain the energy of everybody present. Even with a much stronger Gohan and Black around, they're still not immune to the energy drain, and are severely weakened, and almost killed by the android. Except, Buu arrives, sending his friends being beaten down badly, and blasts 7-3, releasing all of the energy he stole. Everybody is hanging by a thread, and Buu quickly heals them all to normal levels, glaring at 7-3 and asking where Moro is. 7-3 isn't talking, and goes in to fight Buu, and Buu and 7-3 battle it out, with Buu having the clear advantage. Sure, 7-3's got Moro's magical abilities, but even Fat Buu could go up against that, so I'm pretty sure a much more powerful Super Buu, with Zamasu and Frieza absorbed, can handle something like that. 7-3 is largely outclassed, and lies defeated on the ground, not being able to move. Buu looks at the android and decides not to kill him, as he has some pretty unique abilities, and he might have some info on Moro's whereabouts. So, Buu absorbs 7-3, getting his powers and his memories. Unfortunately, Moro doesn't have an exact location, and he's just going throughout the universe in a ship right now. But he has heard about all of the trouble with Earth, so he's going to be making his way to the planet in a month's time. The Z-Fighters thank Buu for saving them from the android, and Buu says of course. Though, they're all now going to have to train up, as Moro can absorb energy like 7-3 did, and they're going to need to find a way to defend against that just in case. Buu is the only one who isn't affected by this, but if Buu can't defeat Moro by himself, help is going to be needed. Gohan says the only way he can think of to defend against that ability is Ultra Instinct, so he's going to need to train his hardest to get this form again, to defend the planet. Goku, Vegeta, Goten, and Trunks are also contacted, and they are informed of the recent attack to Earth, and they have about a month to train themselves up for the upcoming battle. The Z-Fighters all separate now, going on their own training paths to become even stronger, and to be able to defeat Moro. We begin this part with Buu, Gohan, and Black training together for Gohan to re-access the Ultra Instinct form. He was last able to get this form during the Tournament of Power, though according to Whis, he still was never able to perfect it. He was only able to access the Omen version of UI, which made Gohan more motivated than ever to get the full mastered version of the form. While Gohan is able to get a lot stronger with Buu and Black, especially Buu, since he now has 7-3 inside of him to make him more powerful, it's not strength that he needs to get Ultra Instinct. He needs technique. Buu realizes this as well, and Kai's Gohan to Whis, so Whis can help him get the form. Whis is glad to help Gohan, as he was insanely impressed with his ability to use UI in the tournament, so helping him train in it would be his pleasure. Buu and Black stick around on Earth though to train together themselves. Buu has access to most of the abilities 7-3 was able to copy, though the Moro energy ran out when 7-3 himself used it on the Z-Fighters. Even without Moro's abilities, Buu 7-3 is still a beast. Buu doesn't even need to absorb anybody anymore to gain their powers, all he has to do is put his hand on their neck and boom, powers copied. Easy as that. It especially helps to get Black powered up, as Buu can take Black's power and use it against him. Black has been trying to get Ultra Instinct with Gohan ever since he showed off in the Tournament of Power, but he soon realized his personality didn't quite flow with how Ultra Instinct normally operates. He needed something else up his sleeve to turn the tables. Luckily, he managed to get just that while training with Buu. With Buu's help, Black was able to access Super Saiyan Rose 2. Since this is literally Black with just a Gohan skin, he would eventually get something similar to what his Goku Black self got in Dragon Ball Heroes. So if Goku Black can get Rose 2, why can't Gohan Black? Buu is insanely impressed with this kind of power, and helps Black to use it to its fullest potential. Black is very satisfied with this power, but knows that there's one step above it. He saw what Goku and Vegeta were able to get while in the afterlife, Super Saiyan 3. He knows that there's another form he can use with this godly ki, and will do whatever it takes to be able to get Rose 3 as well. Buu is up for the challenge, and trains some more with Black to help him get his Rose evolutions. One day though, the two sense an amazing power coming towards them. Is it Moro? No, it can't be, he'd be way too early. They arrive to where they sense the energy, and Buu recognizes the ship immediately. It's one of Frieza's? Kikuno, Berry Blue, Broly, and Paragus exit the ship, with Berry Blue speaking to Buu directly, saying that they are here to free Lord Frieza and get his empire started again. Free Frieza? That's what they're here for? That's impossible. Black tells Buu that the big guy next to him looks like a Saiyan. Maybe they're saying that he's the one who will defeat them. Buu says that he looks strong too. Maybe this is a chance he needs to access Rose 3. He better get into the fight. Black smiles and tells Broly that he'll be his opponent. Kikuno tells Broly not to engage him as he's not who they're after, but Paragus says it doesn't matter. If they can get this guy out of the way, the better for him not to mess up their plans. Broly agrees to fight with Black, and they rush at each other to engage blows. Black is shocked by how strong Broly is in only his base form, as he almost got blown back right away. He continues to fight out with Broly, but it seems that he isn't even trying, like this is just too easy for him. Black begins to get annoyed, and powers up straight into Rose, surprising Broly and pushing him back. Black then begins to wail on Broly, asking him if that's the best he's got. Broly then catches Black's fist and powers up into his Akari form, saying he's just getting started. He cracks Black across the face, sending him flying into another Broly? Both Brolys begin to beat the crap out of Black until he uses a solar flare to blind them and smack them both into each other. The clone ability he learned on Yardrat turned out to be useful too. It was the only other move he had time to learn besides Spirit Vision, since Paragus was rushing him along to go and get to Earth. He was hoping to see Vegeta here, but nothing. There is another Saiyan, but he has no clue who he is and why he has pink hair. A lot must have changed since he was stuck on Vampa. Black is able to keep the Brolys at bay for a while, but they seem to get even stronger as the fight keeps going on. No matter, Black isn't even using his full power in Rose, So these Broly's aren't going to be able to match up to what he can really do. Broly begins to get angry about how Black's able to still keep up, and unleashes more and more clones to attack. Black is able to hold off quite a lot of them, but soon they begin to pile up on him and hold him down. Buu begins to shoot death beams at the clones to hold them back, and one in particular goes after Buu. Buu is excited for the fight and blocks Broly's punch. Broly smiles at him though, and Buu is confused. Suddenly, he feels kinda funny, almost like he is being torn apart. He can hear screaming inside of his head, and clutches it to make it stop. Broly grabs Buu and begins to scream, using Force Spirit Vision to its fullest. Black looks over at Buu and sees him seemingly being torn apart. He powers up into Rose 2 and blows all of the other Brolys to smithereens as he goes to help Buu. There is a blinding flash of light though, and he stops in his tracks. He then looks in horror at what he sees before him. He sees 7-3, Frieza, and himself. How is that possible? And where is Buu? He looks on to see what appears to be someone who looks like Buu? One that is very small, almost like a kid. Those who are absorbed by Buu look around in confusion, and Kikino and Berry Blue go to get Frieza and return to the ship. 7-3 turns and fires a blast to blow them into nothing, for getting too close. The blast makes Kid Buu look up and he looks around smiling. He lets out a blood-curdling scream and starts firing off ki blasts in all different directions. Everybody moves out of the way, startled by what Kid Buu is doing. Kid Buu then rushes up to the others and begins to beat the living hell out of them savagely. Frieza transforms into his golden form to protect himself and is able to knock Buu away. Kid Buu isn't happy with that and lunges back towards Frieza to fight and to kill. Black tries to go and help Buu and find out what's wrong, but Zamasu stands in his way, asking what they did to him. The two of them were supposed to work together and eliminate all mortals in the universe, yet they managed to have him become a protector of them instead? How disgusting. Black glares at Zamasu, saying that things have changed. He's managed to see what good mortals can actually do, and how if he works with them, then they can make the universe a better place. Things are much better in peace than they are in chaos. Zamasu is disgusted by what his doppelganger has become, and goes in to fight him. 7-3 doesn't want any part of this, and opens up a portal to get the hell out of there. Frieza has the upper hand over Kid Buu, and while Kid Buu is a lot stronger than his canon self, he is fighting with savage intent, no strategy, and blind rage. Golden Frieza has the upper hand in everything. Plus, he's not too happy with him being absorbed by this pink blob for years. Black has the upper hand against his alternate self, but again with him being immortal, there's not much he can do. Broly looks at his father not knowing what is going on, as he managed to free Frieza, but their ride was just killed, so what should they do now? Paragus has no clue either, as he didn't expect Buu to have that many people inside of him, and for him to become what he did once they were gone. Suddenly, Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan instant transmission to the planet after sensing the release of countless villains, and are shocked to see what appears to be Buu almost killed by Frieza. Goku appears in front of Frieza to stop him from killing Buu, but Buu then attacks Goku as well. Goku asks Buu what that was for, but as he has his back turned, Frieza then attacks him as well. Vegeta says they need to contain Buu and stop all these villains in their tracks now, before something bad happens. Gohan says now is the perfect training opportunity and closes his eyes. Once he opens them, he gains access to Ultra Instinct Omen once again, and appears next to Frieza, knocking him right out. Then he punches Buu straight in the head to send him flying away, as he then appears to land a shot right on Zamasu's head to send him flying into the dirt. Broly looks around wondering why everybody's collapsing, until he gets struck in the neck by Gohan as well, and goes down. Buu is the only one not knocked unconscious, and goes after Gohan again. Gohan dodges all of Buu's strikes, and tries to reason with them to stop attacking them. They're his friends, and just because all these people are out of him doesn't change that. This doesn't stop Buu, but he does slow down some more, seeming to contemplate what he is doing. Gohan can sense another energy within Buu, one that feels more familiar than what this fake Buu was doing in front of him. With dozens of quick strikes, Buu explodes, and Gohan is able to reach in and grab the familiar energy he felt within him. And instantly, this little blob transforms into the Fat Buu that started this whole mess to begin with. Fat Buu blinks, looks around him, and thanks Gohan for freeing him. When he was torn apart, the evil Buu managed to take control of him again, and be freed this time. Gohan tells Buu that it's okay, and if he's the same Buu they've been friends with this whole time. Fat Buu says yes and no, and that this time he's without the evil in his heart. Kid Buu looks at Fat Buu in anger, screaming out and lashing out at him. Fat Buu blocks the attack, returning the favor and beginning the battle of the Boos yet again. Fat Buu tells Kid Buu that this time, evil will not win. He's fought for years to keep the evil inside of him in check, and he's not going to let it take over again. Not this time. This time, he's going to make sure that the evil in his heart dies for good. Kid Buu is an actual fear, as unlike before, Fat Buu has the upper hand. And since Boos are able to hurt each other, Kid Buu feels a lot of pain with every strike. Kid Buu is beaten to a pulp, and this time Fat Buu turns him into chocolate and eats him, becoming the true Super Buu once again. Buu tells the Z Fighters that his evil self is finally gone, since the good half managed to defeat him this time. Evil is locked away permanently, and has no chance of ever gaining control again. They all breathe a sigh of relief, as Buu then goes to reabsorb all those he absorbed in the first place. Except this time, he absorbs Broly as well to find out what exactly he did to him and what he wants. After scanning through Broly's memories, he discovers his past and what got him sent here by the Frieza Force as a pawn. He's not really a bad guy, just confused. He wanted to stay with the Yardrats, but his father took him away from them to get some kind of revenge. What's up with that? Well, now he's gonna make sure that they don't see this guy again. Buu Kai's back to Yardrat and dumps Broly on them. Buu says that they should keep a close watch on this guy and teach him the ways of the Yardrats and help him to control his powers better. He feels closer to them than he does with his own father, and he's going to hang on to Paragus inside of him as punishment for what he did to his son. Buu says goodbye to the Yardrats and Kai's back to Earth, just in time to see another portal open up and all of Moro's goons to come walking out. When 7-3 escaped, he went to Moro to tell him what was happening on Earth, and how many more strong energies were there all at once. Moro couldn't pass up a meal like that, and decided to come earlier than expected. The Z Fighters are all angry now. No, it's too soon. They aren't prepared yet. Moro isn't going to give them any more time, however, saying he's starving. We last left off with Moro and his goons making his way to the planet earlier than expected. Especially with him at the front lines is not good. He made his way here after 7-3 showed back up and explained to him how many powerful warriors there still were on this planet all at once. And if Moro had shown up now, then he would have gotten the best meal of his life. The ones he saw earlier are mostly gone, but it seems that there are stronger people here now to take their place. The Z Fighters here aren't ready for this battle quite yet, and need the others to arrive soon to have at least a chance of winning. Gohan steps up to Moro, saying he'll be his opponent and won't forgive him for what he did to the Namekians. Gohan closes his eyes, and then ascends once more into his Ultra Instinct Omen form. Moro is impressed with this power, as this isn't any ability that mortals should be capable of, but here one is. This will be a very good meal indeed. Buu contacts Gohan telepathically, saying that he needs to distract Moro long enough so he can't use the energy drain on them, and they'll deal with these guys. Gohan tells Buu he understands, and then moves in to battle Moro. The rest of Moro's goons attack the Z Fighters, with Goku and Vegeta not holding back at all and going Super Saiyan Blue right from the start to end this fast and help Gohan. Luckily, most of these guys are easy pickings, and Goku and Vegeta can deal with them pretty well. But it's 7-3 that's going to be the hardest one to go up against. Buu and Black both go after him, and unfortunately 7-3 is used to Buu's attack patterns now, after being absorbed in him, and is able to move around his attacks and strike him where it hurts. 7-3 instantly unleashes Moro's abilities yet again to use, and Black, even in Rose 2, can feel the effects hitting him. He's not 100% recovered from the fight with Broly and Zamasu, so he's not able to do as much damage as he should. Buu once again goes for the absorption on him, but 7-3 knows by now not to mess with it, and quickly opens a portal to send a blob of Buu off to another planet. 7-3 can now switch between abilities he's copied pretty fast, faster than what Buu can keep up with. With all the energy Moro has absorbed, and with 7-3 having his abilities as well, this is basically like fighting Moro himself, and Buu isn't doing so good to deal with him. With Black down pretty fast and Buu taking a beating from 7-3, he doesn't think he'll be able to handle this. But suddenly, 7-3 gets trapped in some galactic donuts and Super Saiyan Blue Gotenks lifts him up into the air and slams him down again. Gotenks then begins to launch a Die missile barrage at 7-3 to help Buu. Buu Buu thanks Gotenks for the help and tells him to be careful of 7-3's energy absorption, as nobody but him is immune to it. 7-3 opens a portal to send the attacks back at Buu and Gotenks, which they dodge and then team up to attack the android. While they fight, Gotenks tries his best to finish this fast so he doesn't lose energy as quick, but 7-3 isn't taking any chances on this, and Gotenks reverts back to his Super Saiyan 3 form after only a short time of fighting. Gotenks backs off, knowing now that he isn't going to be of much help anymore, though Buu doesn't seem to be faring very well either. If only Buu had managed to harness all of the God Ki of the old Kai, but even that isn't going to work now. There has to be a way to truly unlock the godly potential of Buu for him to deal with all these guys. Wait, there is! Gotenks fires a Kamehameha to throw 7-3 back, and then instant transmissions to get Buu and take him away. Buu, not doing so hot, asks Gotenks what he's doing. Since they're the only ones powerful enough to deal with 7-3, Gotenks tells him that's true, and that now it's time to work together in a much more literal sense. With the other two gone, 7-3 can turn his sights on Goku and Vegeta, who are almost done dealing with the other goons. Goku and Vegeta begin to lose energy fast, reverting back into their Super Saiyan forms and getting totally bodied by 7-3. 7-3 steals their moves and is ready to blow them away again with a Big Bang Kamehameha, until more galactic donuts begin to surround him. 7-3 has had enough of that brat and goes to break out of them again, but finds he can't this time. It's far too powerful now for him. Why is that? Buu tanks instant transmissions in front of 7-3 and powers up to unleash his godly ki and blow everybody on the battlefield back. 7-3 looks in horror at this insane Buu power-up and struggles to move his hands to free himself, but they are bound together and he can't move. Buu tanks tells 7-3 his story ends here, until a body comes flying at him. Buu tanks gasps and catches the limp body of Gohan. Moro appears next to 7-3 and cuts him loose of the galactic donuts and says that this Saiyan put up a pretty good fight, but nothing too special to speak about. Gohan was able to hold out pretty long against Moro, but since he had already used Ultra Instinct for a while against all the villains earlier, he was wiped out of the form, and Moro could tell that easily, and just wore Gohan down until he lost the edge, and was defeated. Buu isn't happy with this at all. Gohan was supposed to be their trump card. Ultra Instinct was supposed to defeat Moro. If only he hadn't come so early. Buu drops Gohan, saying that Moro's energy absorption doesn't work on him, so he's going to have a harder time against him than the others. Moro doesn't doubt that, but wonders how long he can hold out against two beings of his strength. Moro gives 7-3 a shot of power, similar to what he gave Saganbo in canon, and 7-3 is beefed up even more now, and the two attack Buu. Buu would be able to hold his own very well against one of them on his own, but with the two working together, it seems to be more of a slaughter. Gotenks' techniques help, and with God Ki, Buu is able to do a lot of damage to 7-3, but Moro defends him a great deal, and dishes back out attacks far stronger than what Buu can handle. Buu is beaten silly by the two, and can't even get any help, since Moro is still taking energy from the other Z fighters on the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta can't even go Super Saiyan anymore, and if they fuse into Gogeta, the fusion would most likely fail instantly due to all the energy leaving their bodies. Buu is their only hope, and he's not absorbing anybody else now that Moro and 7-3 knows that's where all he gets his power. Buu keeps trying, however, and gets some more good licks in on 7-3 until the worst of the worst happens. Gotenks defuses inside of Buu, and Buu loses the fusion's advantage he had inside of him. Moro says this is just getting sad now, and he's sick and tired of this game. Buu sighs, saying that's true. He's tired of it too. He's tired of all the friends Moro's taken from him all these centuries, and actually, he's not going to take it anymore. Moro asks what he could be talking about. He's never met him before, and certainly not any of his friends. And Buu looks up, his godly ki access from Goten and Trunks, and says maybe this move will refresh his memory. Buu sticks out his hands in a fashion similar to the Grand Supreme Kai, and Moro gasps in realization. With all of the godly ki, and Buu now being in a pure state over having overcome his evil self, he can now use the Kai Kai Motoru, and fires it right at Moro. The blast hits Moro head on, and all of his magic begins to get sealed within him, and all that he has stolen is flown right out of his body. Moro reverts back to his old elderly self and collapses to the ground. 7-3 looks on in horror at what just happened to Moro, and he blasts a full power attack at Buu to wipe him away. With Moro out of the picture, Goku and Vegeta quickly fuse into Gogeta, and rush 7-3 to get him off of Buu. They weren't able to get their full energy back, however, and can only go Super Saiyan 3 at max, but this is enough to save Buu from being obliterated. 7-3 fights with Gogeta and try and get him off of him, and with this Moro energy ran out, he is actually on the losing side of this battle. Gogeta is weakened from all of the energy taken away, but so is 7-3, and this fight is somewhat even. Well, until 7-3 can grab onto Gogeta to steal his powers. Gogeta is trying his best not to let that happen, and thankfully his long hair is blocking his neck, so 7-3 has a harder time in going to grab it to take his powers. This battle lasts quite a while, with both sides not giving in no matter how much damage they take. Gogeta decides to gamble everything and uses the last of his power into his fist, and flies at 7-3 screaming. 7-3 flies towards him too, and Gogeta yells out, "Dragon Fist," and flies right through 7-3. With all of the power of the Dragon Fist, 7-3 is disintegrated, and the battle seemingly won. Gogeta diffuses back into Goku and Vegeta, falling onto the ground, unconscious. Moro then weakly begins to crawl away, before Black stands over him, saying he's caused him and his new friends a whole lot of pain. The others may want to put him back to jail, but he's not going to allow that. His style is a lot more divine. Black powers up, getting all of the power back that was stolen from him, and with his added anger, Black is able to transcend into Super Saiyan Rose 3. Black then prepares a gigantic Kamehameha and blasts Moro off the face of the planet. Finally, the threat of Moro is over, and life can return to normal. Dende is brought into the battlefield to heal everybody, and Buu is the worst one damaged since he used so much power to seal Moro's magic away, that has made his body unstable. But Goten and Trunks inside of him managed to keep Buu from falling apart with sheer willpower. With Dende healing him, Buu is somewhat back to normal now, and Goten and Trunks leave his body. The Galactic Patrol is called to come and take the other prisoners back to the Galactic Prison, and the threat is gone. Gohan apologizes that he wasn't able to master Ultra Instinct and save the day, but Goku tells him he's done more than enough in his absence, saving the universe all the time. It was nice for him to get the victor in the end, and there's no stopping here. They'll all keep training together to get stronger and stronger. Buu agrees, and he needs to train to the others now and try and regain all of the power he has just lost from using the Kai Kai Motoru. Losing a lot of his magic also doesn't allow him to keep the clothes or the person he's absorbed either for now. Meaning, no more of Zamasu's clothes and something that actually looks a whole lot better now. With the day saved, the Z Fighters, along with Super Buu, continue to train and defend their homes from any more threats. There's still more to come with Granola, and that arc would be very different without 7-3 in the picture to really start the whole thing, but I'm going to wait until that arc wraps up completely to begin that story. Meaning for now, this is the finale of What If Super Buu Turned Good. Thank you all so much for joining me for this series, as it's been one of my favorite ones to work on, and it's been one of the longest ones I've worked on too. It's insane to finally be finishing it, and I hope you guys stick around to see the future of the Granola arc, and to just check out all the other series on my channel as well. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching this series, and until we meet again, see you later!